I'm gonna turn a piece of garbage into a hot mess right here on the basics. I don't know why I'm smiling like this. I don't know why I'm smiling like this. Okay, welcome to another rendition of the basics. I hope you guys are doing all right. Now you can. So I got this hot to garbage going on right here. For your sake, I'm just measuring it out with my miniatures. So what we're gonna do here is draw out a little plan. Sometimes I don't really draw out plans. I just do. But this, I felt like it was pretty appropriate just to draw out. So I'm making a stream, couple of rocks, foliage right there, and let's get started right here. So I'm grabbing some EVA foam. If you don't know what EVA foam is, it's a different kind of foam next to XPS and everything else. I do have some XPS foam right here. If you don't know what XPS foam, it's more of a denser type of foam. You can use regular styrofoam. I am making some rock textures into it. All you have to do is just cut into it and all. Make sure you got a hot glue gun. If you don't have a hot glue gun, you could definitely use some PVA glue or any kind. You can use super glue, but it won't do you much good because super glue kind of melts the foam of everything else. So we're making some little rock textures into this. I do have a lighter. If you do got a lighter, careful with it because you will burn yourself, and make sure you have a well ventilated area because it does stink, and I'm pretty sure those gases are not good for you to. Also, this is some EVA foam just putting down onto the cardboard just to hide those little impressions of the cans. You can easily cut it away. Look how easy that is. Never mind, it's not. There you go. Just move it right there. Let me just add it on there. And don't worry about the seams. Later we're going to fill that up and the seams are going to be non-existent and it's going to look like one good piece. Alright, we're going to add the other piece right there. Try to line it up. And don't worry about your drawing being gone because you can always redraw it. This is just a simple plan. Has everything. Always try to keep all your scraps as well because sometimes you're going to use those scraps for something else. So as you can see here, I'm drawing out the stream that I want to make. I want to make like a stream slash rock, making a waterfall into it. I'm not cutting away all of it because I dropped my brownie right there. Alright, now we're gonna paint it up. I got some black and some raw sienna. I'm gonna mix that up. There you go. I'm pretty messy right there. Just make sure you just cover everything. The only reason I do this because I have like a weird factionation that my pieces are gonna break. And so when it chips off, this can simulate dirt if it does chip off, but if you have your piece secured, it won't chip off. So it's just for me and my sake. You don't have to really necessarily do this. You can just save the step and just easily do nothing. But it does look nice when it's all painted up. So I'm just testing out the rocks here. I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it on there. Alright, and now I'm gonna start making some jaggedy rocks. So what you do is you just jaggedy jack, where you just cut in between. You can rip it apart, do whatever you want. Just make it look like a rock formation of any type. And I am drawing the river in the beginning, so what you can do, I'm grabbing some acetone right here. For this acetone, make sure you get the 100% acetone for nail polish. I tried it with what do you call it, a Q-tip. They work all right, but it's just a slow process. As you can see here, it works fairly well, but I really wanted a more of an indention. Also, careful, I am using fire near this acetone. It's very flammable, which also kind of helped. But yeah, very careful about that. If you are under 18, use adult supervision. If so, if not, hey, just be careful and try not to blow the house up. Oh. So here I took the risk and just pouring all the acetone onto it, and maybe it just kind of formed, which kind of did form a little bit, which I'm kind of glad it did, but at the same time you are taking the risk of terraforming into something new and kind of destroying something that you are trying to go for. I had to stuff in a few pieces just to make it look natural. I used a Q-tip to swab out the rest of the acetone out so it's not continuously burning, because it will continually burn no matter what. I'm just gluing into the piece and everything else. This is what got me the great idea. I was like, oh snap, let me glue in more rocks to make it look natural. Always try to look for pictures or anything that kind of helps you of like how a waterfall looks or how anything looks. It's just really going to help you out. I got some wall spackle. It's like the plaster of Paris, and a tub. You can buy it for like $3 at Walmart. It's not too expensive, but I use this a lot onto my projects now. You could definitely try to make rock formations without adding, you know, other things, but you can use spackling now, and it makes your creations a little bit more realistic for most rocks. I do it a lot, and yeah, so make sure you have a lot on there. And if you want a faster result, I suggest putting a fan next to it. It won't dry it out really fast, but it will dry out enough for you to form and work with it. And it's also messy too, so prepare for that. Make sure you have a couple of clean fingers, because it will require your attention. So as long as you are working with it, you are fine. So, and we're also going to be using this stuff as, you know, more of a, what do you call it, a razor up, I guess, to raise up the indentions within the stream. You can also hide the seams of the EVA foam, which works out perfectly. You just have to work with it, and after you work with it, there'll be a point in time where it does get dry enough where you can just pat it down. Just use a clean finger, just pat it down, and eventually it shall, you know, work with you. This is just all about patience and time, and if you don't have patience and time, it's just gonna look terrible. But just keep on patting it down like I'm doing right here. Eventually you will get your results no matter what. As you can see that I put some clear glue down, I am using that as a water effect. I will be having a couple of videos about showing off different water effects that are on the cheap side for using glues and everything. So don't worry about that. I would say put some out and for it to dry. If you have something silicone or anything that can easily transfer out, I suggest you use some of that because the scum on top will be great for some great water effects. Also, I'm here putting in some extra rocks, just adding some little extra texture onto the piece. As it does, I'm just putting super glue and everything down onto it. I also, for the water effect, I did an aqua and a white. I didn't mix it up all the way, but it is somewhat mixed, so when I do dab it with a paintbrush, it will be a mixture of both. I am using this as an icicle, an icy water effect. Not the best, but it works out for your favor if you are using this for a quick battle or anything. Diorama works out. Next, I am putting down the Aleene's tacky glue, the only best glue for tacking down some. You can use PVA glue too, but I am just brushing that on because I am going to be putting on some flocking. And now flocking, you can buy all types of flocking at Dollar Tree. They have some flocking. Just cut it down a little bit. This is I like to say the expensive flocking, but it's only about $4. It's not too bad. You can go to any hobby shop that will have flocking, but I would say it's pretty expensive because it's like $4 and you get a small bag, and you know the stuff. It does last you a long time if you do keep up and if you do take care of it, and it will last you for quite a while. But at the same time, I'm spraying it down with some watered down PVA glue. It just helps it be contained and secure down onto the base of your terrain. And right here I am just dabbing away some of the flocking that I got into some of that paint. Some of it's dry, some of it was not. Some of it did mix in, so it didn't really matter, but I really didn't want to have a green base. Sometimes with this flocking it does kind of leak and stuff. And this is for the snow texture. I am adding some Aleene's tacky glue onto this. I added quite a bit. For the snow texture, I am using, what does it look like, sugar? No, it's actually white sand. I thought this better. I thought this method, it was completely experimental, but this method that I have found out that was pretty better than the PVA glue with baking soda and white paint. I think I should have added some white paint to this, even though it was white. I was just taking a gander off that, but this really works out. It becomes a paste onto there, and you can pretty much paste it on there any way you like. It's pretty pliable, and to my shock that it felt really nice, and you know, you had control over it. You can water it down, but the more watered down, the less control you have over it. But overall, I liked it. I mean, I think if you're going to try to have snow on the sides, I think water it down a little bit, but I think having some like white paint into it would be a lot better. But this texture of snow that I really liked, it just looked more of a packed snow, and I think I'm gonna go with this whole method for a while now, because this whole method just looks pretty nice. And it can be packed down pretty nice. It's even pliable. Bad thing is, it just gets stuck to your fingers pretty fast. So I'm also doing it near the stream. It's pretty nice. Like You can legit hold it in your hand. It feels like oobleck a little bit, but without the whole liquidy part. So yeah, I'm just wrapping it up, and then you just pat it down, and then it instantly bonds down. It was near my fan, so I think it was pretty much getting dried. I did add a little bit of water eventually, but it kind of just turned into like a liquid sand. You know how liquid sand is? And yeah, but I will definitely be experimenting with this more and stuff. So because I do like snowy bases and stuff, and then in my campaign, you're gonna have to be there. I have to be in the snow. As you can see, I put the rest of the snow. I wanted this to be like a more of like an open field, like snow's kind of melting, nature kind of like it's spring again. So it was just a quick diorama for this whole situation, but I like the results. Here I am doing the clear glue. As you can see, the scum on top of it. I don't know why I call it scum, but it looks like scum. I just set it on top as a base. You can legit keep on scooping off and then put it on layers, or you can make a dam like I did, and this kind of helps stop it. The overlap of the glue did flow down pretty nicely, but I really wanted to make it look full on top. So the bad thing is about clear glue, you're gonna have to do a couple of layers of it because it does dry immensely down and everything else. I was afraid how it was going to react to the sand. I was thinking it was going to like break it down and make it flow, but evidently it didn't. It did make like a whole situation, you know, pretty compact and stuff. And here, when it's everything dried, this is what everything dried. I'm putting some tufts of grass and everything on here. You can buy tufts of grass. These are the expensive part. These tiny tufts are $7 to $8, and then the ones with the flowers are like $13. I mean, I support my local hobby shop, but whew, man, you know, if you want some quality tufts, I guess just go ahead, put them down. But man, I mean, it made everything look nice and stuff, but some of these tufts are really tough. Some of my tufts were, the stickiness were just gone, so I had to stick some super glue on the bottom of some of them and re-stick them on. But it just makes your lively flat grass into more of a lively thing. You can add more hills or anything if you wanted to. I know at Dollar Tree they do have a floral section, and they do have some that look like kind of like bushes a little bit. Pretty much you could do anything you want. If you want more like tuffy grass or anything, I know there'll be some hemp rope you can buy. I know Bard's Craft, he teaches you how to make some tufts and stuff, which I think is a pretty good idea. I bought some to make some homemade flocking and everything. You can legit grab a styrofoam ball, form it into a bush or anything you like, and dip it in glue, and then dip it inside your flocking, and you can make a bush or anything you like. Pretty much just all about decorating, you know. It don't have to be exactly like this, but you know, what I really liked about this project was it was pretty fun, you know. What I liked, it was about experimenting, and what I like about experimenting, you kind of discover something new or anything else, you know. It's kind of like daunting when you're working on a project, you know. Sometimes you just have to do and just create, and boom, you'll be all good to go. My only regret about doing this is probably I think I should have done a little bit more. But at the end result, I think I should have gotten more snow. But the end result, boom, I love it a lot. I think it's a pretty nice diorama for you to just set your miniatures on instead of just having them on a plain shelf. Or you can actually use this because it's pretty big enough where you can actually have a small encounter on. You can also create other, if you have other boxes, you can create use these as tiles or anything else, and you can just set them together, and you can pretend that you guys are on top of a mountain and everything else. But I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys did too. Hope you guys like it some more. Like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for watching the basics.